all remember our favorite toys from childhood, and we usually remember them fondly. That's why this video might be a bit scary. Today we are looking at toys that just might have been possessed by ghosts. Be warned, it gets pretty spooky. Make sure you stay to the end to see something that reminds us of a real-life version of a character from a modern horror classic. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, then make sure to give this one a like and hit the subscribe button. Here are 10 haunted toys caught on camera. Thrift store doll mystery. Have you ever bought something because you thought it was a bargain and then regretted it? Like, not because you didn't really have the money or because you didn't have quite enough space in your home, but because there was something inexplicably wrong with it? That's what happened to one woman when she picked up a doll from a thrift store. Debbie Merrick picked up 3 China dolls for a pretty cheap price, just £5, because she thought that they would be worth more. But that turned out to be a mistake when her husband, Cameron, woke up with mysterious scratches on his leg. Debbie from Kings Lynn, UK, said her family's home's fire alarms had been going off mysteriously after they bought the Regency-style dolls in July 2017. She thought that it was a spirit that lived inside the dolls was moving through the house and causing some pretty spooky problems. We can't think of any other explanations, so we think she did the right thing when she sold the dolls online. But the story doesn't end there. The doll's new owner, Lee Steer, had a similar experience. His father, Paul, woke up in his room in Rotherham, UK, with scratches along his arm shortly after the possessed figurine turned up. Using an online application, he discovered the doll's name was Samantha and it wanted to strike Lee. It looks innocent, but thinking about it gives us the shivers.
Hey guys, please check out the most awesome sisters on YouTube, Sister Fun. Watch them play the latest games, go on amazing adventures, and just doing all sorts of fun and silly things. If you have kids, little brothers or sisters, or if you just want to join in on the family fun, please subscribe to their channel.
Natural creeping baby doll. Sometimes something doesn't have to be necessarily haunted to be pretty scary. There can be a certain something that makes what ought to be a normal and innocent thing a bit unnerving. And that's certainly the case with the next toy. It dates from 1871 and, well, just look at it. It's like something from our worst nightmares. It's a doll, but then again it isn't. It's got the head of a baby doll and the arms and legs of one too, but it's what's in the middle that makes us shiver. It's a bizarre mechanical contraption that looks kinda dangerous, and its age means it's got rusty, which makes things even worse. It's supposed to crawl along, but the thought of it moving? Just no. Do you know what's even worse? When it was made, the word crawling was interchangeable with creeping, and that means it's called the Natural Creeping Baby Doll, which seems pretty appropriate. It was created by American inventor George Pemberton Clark. Its brass clockwork body is supposed to imitate a crawling action. We wouldn't want it to be coming towards us on a dark night, or any time of the day for that matter. It would seem as if it were haunted. Oh, and there is a piece of wood on top of it. That makes it look less like a doll and more like some kind of spooky experiment. Robert the Haunted Doll. If you go to Key West, Florida, pay a visit to the East Martello Museum. There, you'll come across information about the history of the local area and its culture. But there's also something that can send shivers down your spine. Inside a glass case, there's a worn-out-looking wooden doll. The doll's name is Robert. The story goes that it was given to the artist Robert Eugene Otto when he was a little boy in 1906. Some reports say it was a servant who practiced voodoo that gave it to him. But strange things happened involving this doll. Sometimes the boy would be involved in accidents he had no explanation for. For instance, his other toys would end up being destroyed or broken. He would blame the doll. This might sound like he was trying to deflect attention away from bad behavior, but his parents heard the boy talking to Robert, which would answer back in a voice quite unlike the children. Sometimes when the family was out and there was nobody in the house, people could see Robert looking out from different windows. Robert Eugene Otto kept the doll with him in the house until he died in 1974. Even then, people who moved into the property could hear footsteps and laughter from the seemingly empty attic. Even when it was donated to the museum, it still gave off an eerie presence. People are still encouraged to introduce themselves to Robert, just in case. The doll that inspired a movie. Thinking about the idea of a haunted toy, it sounds like something that could come out of a horror movie. Just think about it. A harmless and even friendly object that can come to life? Perfect for a late-night scarefest. Well, here's something that inspired a series of horror movies. Fans of scary films might well be familiar with 2013's The Conjuring and its 2014 prequel, Annabelle. In those films, a demonically possessed porcelain doll wreaks havoc on a neighborhood. If you've seen them, you'll know just how spooky the doll is. Did you know it's based on a true story? The thing is, though, the real doll wasn't made of china. It was a cloth, Raggedy Ann-style toy. We don't know why the filmmakers changed it. Maybe it looked scarier? Anyway, in the 1970s, Lorraine Warren, an occultist of Monroe, Connecticut, was told by a pair of nursing students they had been terrorized by a child's toy. It was said to have moved around their apartment, leaving behind scratch marks and writing cryptic messages. The students said a psychic had told them the doll was possessed by the spirit of a dead 7-year-old called Annabelle Higgins. However, the Warrens did their own research and found it was possessed by a demonic spirit. The original Annabelle is in Lorraine's museum in Monroe. No one is allowed to touch it, and a priest has been called on to say a prayer that binds it. Devil Baby Doll. New Orleans is one of America's greatest cities. Its history as a French outpost from the Louisiana Purchase, coupled with its status as a cosmopolitan port city, gives it something that nowhere else in the United States has. But like any city, there are stories and legends to it, and some of them are pretty spooky. One of them is a tale that takes in voodoo, toys, and a set of family heirlooms. The so-called Devil Baby Dolls were first created from hollowed-out gourds and placed outside cottages to scare off evil spirits in the early 19th century. Legendary voodoo practitioner Marie Laveau warned against making them too realistic, lest they anger the real devil baby. The reports calmed down until the start of the 20th century. That's when reports of real-life devil baby dolls started to spread through the streets of the city. They were dressed in children's clothes and had the same face. One woman who said she had seen the devil baby said it was the same face as the demon. They were seen throughout the city. However, not many of them survive today. Some are kept locked up as family heirlooms. However, NOLA artist Riccardo Pustiano has the remnants of one, which he used to build a new one. Replicas of this are on sale, and while we don't think they're possessed, we are still a bit spooked out by them. We just can't be 100% sure that they aren't haunted. The teddy that moves in the night. This is one of the most unnerving and creepy things that we've come across. It's the tale of a normal, average, everyday teddy bear which appears to move and act of its own free will in the dark hours in the middle of the night. What makes it worse is that at one point, the toy bear looks like it moves onto a sleeping little girl. The footage, which is believed to have been filmed in India, has attracted controversy ever since it was first posted online in July 2016. The poster, who is yet to be tracked down, says he believes that the toy bear has been manipulated by ghosts. But other people have said that it is being moved by someone hiding under the bed. We are more inclined to believe the former, if truth be known. That's because the bed isn't exactly very big, so we aren't entirely sure how someone could have fitted underneath it. What makes this footage even more spooky is because it was captured on an infrared baby monitor. The dark colors remind us of the horror movie Paranormal Activity, and that film certainly scared us one heck of a lot. The puppet that moved by itself. If you know one thing about puppets, it's that they are supposed to move. That's kind of the entire point of them. Whether it's a marionette operated by strings or a ventriloquist doll, a puppet that doesn't move isn't really a puppet at all. At least that's what we think. But bearing that in mind, what if it moves and there's no master of puppets to do so? Then it might just be haunted. That's what happened in this case. Paranormal investigator Jane Harris took on a case one day and made a video to try to convince skeptics. Jane from Sturbridge, UK, was told that an innocuous-looking puppet had tried to strangle its owner as he lay in bed one night. She took on the doll, which looks like an elderly Victorian gentleman with white hair, glasses, and a velvet waistcoat, and put it in her basement. She then focused a camera on it. Then she left it for 3 months. When she came back to it, she got something that was definitely really spooky. The puppet was kept locked inside a glass case, but her recording found that the doll had sat up and slowly moved its operating cross until it sat up. There was no way it could have been manipulated, Jane said. She said she had never seen anything as exciting as this. We think the best word is scary. Joliet, the Soul Collector. This next toy is one of the more mysterious ones. In fact, there's so much that we don't know about it. However, it's certainly worth taking a look at, if you dare, of course. According to this story, a woman called Anna G is the latest in a line of women who have been hit by a curse. It is said that each woman of the family will have 2 children, a boy and a girl. Then it is said that the son will die when he is just 3 days old. Anna says that her great-grandmother was given a doll named Joliet when she was pregnant. She gave birth to a son who died when he was 3 days old. old. It's been said that the doll captures the souls of the boys in the family and can be heard crying. The souls are cursed to stay inside the doll until they can be made free on Judgment Day. But in order to protect them, Joliet has to be looked after by the women who have to care for it like they would do their own children. It's pretty scary. But we have some questions, such as where are the family from? Why was the doll cursed? And have they ever tried to have more than 2 children? It's certainly a bit bewildering, and it opens up a lot of questions. It's still very spooky though. Is it the bear or the house that's haunted? Now, this is a pretty spooky sort of video, but while we think something in it is haunted, we don't know what. You see, the film shows a white teddy bear left alone on some stairs. It's just sat there with nothing next to it to disturb it next to a toy car. But you see the bear move to its side like it is falling down. Then you see that the little toy car then goes down the stairs too. We're pretty baffled by what is going on there. Is the bear possessed by something? That's certainly feasible, but what about the car? Again, it could happen. But here is another idea. What if it's the house itself that is haunted? If it is, then we are dealing with a very specific sort of ghost. That sort of ghost is called a poltergeist. A poltergeist is a spirit that has the power to move things. The name is kind of a giveaway. Poltern is German for cause a disturbance, while Geist is German for spirit. They are often believed to be the spirits who are angry because they belong to people who died young. But we hope that you aren't going to encounter any malicious ghosts. By the way, did you know that teddies are named in honor of former American President Theodore Roosevelt? He was a renowned hunter who spared the life of a baby bear, and so the toys are named after him. Pennywise in doll form? Anyone who's seen It will know that clowns are just inherently spooky. Whether it's the 1990 miniseries or the 2017 hit horror movie, Pennywise the Dancing Clown is one of the scariest characters in popular culture. So whoever came up with this doll, well, it's pretty horrifying. We have no idea whether it's actually haunted or not, but we can't think anyone would have actually designed this. It's something we can't really think is exactly suitable for children. Just look at it. It actually looks like a miniature version of Pennywise. It's got the jagged teeth, it's got the white makeup, and it's got the shock of red hair. Just looking at it gives us the shivers. We are worried that it is going to invite us down to the sewers so it can feed off our greatest fears. By the way, did you know that Stephen King created Pennywise as an update of the classic children's story, The Billy Goat's Gruff? That's right, the scary clown creature is a modern update of the troll, and rather than cross a bridge, the children walk above the sewers. The author says that he was also inspired by the library in Stratford, Connecticut. There was a corridor between the adults and children's section, which reminded him of the bridge. But what we'd like to know is who you think the scariest horror movie character is. And that's all for our 10 haunted toys caught on camera. If you liked it, be sure to check out 10 amazing pictures they won't show you in history books. Thanks for watching!